Okay, we're on the record in the Geraldo versus Gultierrez matter, case D530134. Counsel. We'll have you state your name for the record, please.
Ryan Geraldo.
Okay, plaintiff's present. Counsel.
Emily McFarling, bar number 8567, appearing on behalf of the defendant, who is present to my far left, and I also have my law clerk, Mike Burton, here with me.
Okay. All right, so this is a time set for the continuation of the evidentiary hearing we started a bit ago, and so now we need to, I guess we have some motions pending, but what I think I'll do is I'll deal with the, I know there's objections to exhibits, and we've talked about this, like I'll deal with it as it comes in terms of discovery and production and that kind of thing, and whether I'll let those in. I know you have a motion regarding the doctor's appointments, but I can include that as all part of the ultimate decision making in this case. So, and then I know there was an issue of Aliana. I keep wanting to call her Alyssa. Sorry. Aliana, I got it. Whether she were to testify, and I told you not to bring her here because there's a protocol to follow, and it wasn't followed. However, if I determine that I want her interviewed, I think Ms. McFarling's dealt with me in other cases where I would make that determination, and maybe at the end of the trial, and order that she be interviewed by FMC again, probably. So I may do that, but we'll just start the trial and get everybody's testimony in and the exhibits that we need, and then I'll make that determination at the end.
Your Honor, the only reason why I took her with me down to the marshal's office, the constable's office, to have her served with subpoena, because she told me she wanted you to hear from her.
Who are you talking about?
Aliana, my daughter.
Oh, okay. Well, I understand that. So, but look.
I didn't want her to this whole time.
Okay, but I may decide that I want to hear from her.
That was the only reason why.
Okay. Ultimately, though, like I said, if I decide I want to hear from her, I want to have her interviewed, I can do that. But at this point, we're not going to have her testify, so
That's fine.
we'll go from there. Okay. With that, it's still your case. You called your wife last time. Is she still on the stand? I can't remember. I'm sorry. We're finished with her, correct?
I believe he finished, and I reserve the right to recall her in my case in chief.
Correct. Okay, so that was the only witness that you had listed that was actually previously listed, as I recall, or that was previously disclosed. Pardon?
Not exactly. All the hearings were closed, and none of my family or witnesses were allowed to be in here because they were
potentially could be witnesses.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. We've talked about this before under the rules, that you have to make proper disclosures. You have to say, these are the people that I intend to call. I allowed the one, I think, because Ms. McFarling had already had the opportunity to depose her, but all the rest were not disclosed properly. I'm not certain that those are even necessary. Look, really, it's you two. But let me hear. What are your thoughts on this?
I believe they were on the witnesses when
the final one
Don was representing me.
Are you sure? Do you have something to show me that? Because I don't see your discovery, so I don't know that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't get to see what is exchanged between the parties. Ms. McFarling, can you help me out here?
I think I forgot one of my notebooks out.
My cheat sheet for what witnesses are disclosed when, which is not the actual disclosure, but just my index for it, shows that the only witnesses that have been disclosed have been from defendant, from my side of this. I actually don't have a single one listed in my index for discovery that I received. So I don't believe there were any. Okay. But that's based upon my index.
Do you know where it would have been disclosed?
October 19th, when we were here, you said, or McFarling said that it was closed, that everybody needs to leave.
Correct,
And
but
he said
here-
it's probably
but
not a
that's-
bad idea because they might be witnesses. I think that's already been stated. Probably not. Probably
Correct.
not, but potentially, but for sure.
Correct,
Is what
but,
you think.
correct. But I don't, okay, so I don't determine who the witnesses are. You two do. And you ultimately disclose that in a formal document. And I know you're not a lawyer, and I have to give you some flexibility here, but part of this, okay, so give me an offer of proof. What are the witnesses intended to testify about? Okay, because that'll help me out to understand whether, I don't want it to be trial by ambush on the other side, but there might be something that I believe they can deal with. Just let me hear what they're here to testify about.
Okay. Well, Your Honor, Andrea states or testifies, says that she never lived with me. My sister was the homeowner of the house that me and Andrea lived in for 2 years.
Okay. I don't think that's relevant to your custody issue. Is that the only reason that that person your sister would testify?
No.
Okay.
There's many other reasons why she.
Okay, so remember, we're focused on your children.
She
Okay.
knows what's been going on.
How so?
Well, for instance, one, she's trying to claim that the accidents don't happen at her house or when Alicio's with her.
Okay.
And she told my sister that Alicio, when he has accidents, he has to wash his own underwear. Okay, so.
But you can ask her about that. You can cross-examine her about that. Okay?
I'm just saying.
Okay,
I think
because-
the quote was, I think they might be witnesses. I think that's already been stated. Is what you said. That is.
But I don't know
I quote, that's what
when I close the court. Okay, so when I close the courtroom because there are people sitting in the gallery, it doesn't mean that they've been disclosed properly in the case. Okay, that's my point.
Right.
I don't know who they are. This defense doesn't know who they are. She might know who they are, but counsel doesn't know who they are. And so when I just close the courtroom and say they may be witnesses, that doesn't mean that we know they're going to be witnesses. Does that make sense?
Let's just make
Look.
it easy. That's fine.
Hold on one second, though. Hold on. I have to follow certain rules because
that's fine.
here's the thing: I wouldn't let them do this to you. I wouldn't let them start marching in
And that's
people.
fair.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay. I wouldn't let them march people in here that you'd never heard of. Okay.
Alright.
And so because that basically means you're being ambushed by information that you weren't given in the past. Okay. So, but look, I get that. I understand that you're not represented and you're doing it yourself and you're doing a fine job. Like I said, I'm working with you. That's why I wanted to hear what the testimony is about. Who else did you have out there?
My mother.
And does she witness things herself, or are these things that you tell her that she would testify about?
She went with my wife to the defendant's partner's work at one time when we were trying to locate the children when they after they returned from California.
Okay.
And I mean, she was blocked. Also, her phone number was blocked. She tried to send gifts to the address, the false address that was given to me through a police officer the night that she picked up my daughter from my residence at 3
You can
in the
ask her
morning.
about all that. So here, okay. So these are the things that. So just understand. If these are things that she did, then you can ask her directly about those things. And on cross-examination, that's what you would do.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Isn't
I
it?
said
That you got a false address, that you didn't know where she was, all those things that somebody went. Those things can be gotten in through her. Actually, she's the main person. So you know what I'm saying? Okay. Anybody else that you have out there?
Well, let's just, it's done.
Okay, all right. Let's get started then. So you can now call. I mean, are you going to call the defendant? Or are you going to put your own testimony on, or you want to call her first?
Oh, let me turn that off. Sorry.
Okay, all right.
Well, one thing, I did not get a chance to file as an exhibit that I just received last night. It's very important.
What's that?
It's a third party opinion on my son's medical issues. He's a medical professional expert. I sent him all the records, and he reviewed them. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know Andrea. He's just a third party looking at everything, and I have a letter from him. Because you did say you wanted and to hear from an expert, and then I did say that I would make sure that the doctor came, which obviously I couldn't do. So I reached out to a couple of different professionals online, trying to get someone to just give an opinion on the matter, and someone did reply, and then I forwarded all his medical issues. He reviewed them, and he gave his opinion on the matter. And I would like to have that reviewed or submitted if you allow it, please.
Oh boy.
I have not even seen this.
Yeah, I didn't. I just got it last night. If I would have had it, I would have submitted. I submitted things yesterday, and then I obviously got this last night. I have the email to prove when I got it.
Okay, so, all right. So here's the thing. Go ahead and put on your testimony, and we'll talk about this exhibit. I mean,
Okay.
I need to hear from.
Copies.
So who are you calling? Who is your first witness? Who is your next witness? Is it going to be Ms. Gutierrez, or are you going to be the person? Are you going to testify yourself? One or the other? One or the other?
Let's do. Ms. Gutierrez first.
Okay. So you can come up to the stand.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you. You may be seated.
Nice and loud.
Okay.
Am I the father of Alicia Honorio?
Yes.
Was I present?
You have to speak up if you
Okay,
answer.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Was I present during pregnancy for both children and at the hospital for deliveries?
Yes.
Both children? Am I on the birth certificate?
Yes.
What year was Aliana born?
2003.
What year did you open the child support case?
Probably 2003.
Was there ever a period of time where you closed the case?
Yes.
What year did you move into your grandma Lola's house?
There was multiple times. So which time?
After you moved from Bedrock Cove Court? Let's say
2009.
2009. So where did you reside from 2006 to 2008?
On and off with grandma, your dad, and then we were at the Bedrock Cove.
Do you remember any specific dates, living, any months, years, when you lived at Bedrock Cove?
No, it was probably 2008 is probably the year that I was there.
Okay, so in your interrogatory questions, where you stated under oath you were living with your grandma Lola from 2006 to 2008. So, do you know any specific months or dates that you lived at Bedrock Cove?
No, I just said I'm sure I was there in 2008.
Do you remember when you moved in?
No,
2008 is when you left.
yes, or I know I was there in 2008.
Okay. Okay. So, is it safe to say that you lived with me at Bedrock Cove for 2 years, from 2006 to 2008?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. So, did you live there the entire 2 years, or did you leave at any point?
no, I was there for the 2 years.
You were there for the 2 years,
Yeah,
2006 to 2008.
if that's when you said we started living there, then yes. And I know
Not
that
that I said we started living there. I'm not saying.
I don't remember then.
Okay. Well,
I know we lived together at Bedrock Cove.
for 2 years, from 2006 to 2008, correct?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, you just stated that you lived with your grandma, my dad, and at Bedrock Cove. And then you just stated that you lived there in the entire 2 years. So, which one is it?
You're trying to ask me, and I don't remember. So I'm assuming you're asking me. I lived there from 2006 to 2008, since that's what your dates that you keep on asking. So I said yes, if that was what you have on your calendar that we lived together. I never stated that we didn't live together there. We lived at Bedrock Cove, and I don't remember the date.
Okay, well, if I said I had an exhibit that shows your interrogatory questions where you stated under oath that you were living with your grandma Lola from 2006 to 2008, what would you say?
The dates are wrong, or the years are wrong.
During the 2 years and you lived with me at Bedrock Cove in 2006, 2008, were you collecting child support from me and using your grandma Lola's address on court documents?
Yes.
Who is the owner of the residence on Bedrock Cove?
Raquel Geraldo.
So, under oath, you stated that you did not live with me, and you were living with your grandma Lola. And now you just said you were. So which one's the truth?
I don't know what year you're trying to get at. So
2006, 2008.
whatever years we were in that Bedrock Cove place, we were together, living there together.
Okay, so when you came into court, you said that I opened this case because that you just opened a child support case and wanted to, and that I was upset that I had to pay child support and my taxes were taken. Correct?
I don't say it again.
When we had previous court dates, came into this courtroom and stated that you did not live with me and that you were collecting child support, living at your grandma's house because we didn't live together.
We did live together.
Okay, so you lied in the courtroom.
Did it come out of my mouth or did it come out of my attorneys? Because sometimes they get stuff messed up, and I know that the dates are wrong for the years.
I believe attorneys get stuff messed up very, very often. Very often. My own attorney, in fact, included.
You know what? Before you go any further, let's swear him in because I want to because he's asking questions, but he's also making statements, and just so that way when you make statements are under oath, and then I can use them as part of the findings. Okay, so let's swear him in.
Please raise your right hand. You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this action shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thanks, Ryan. All right, so that way, because I know that Ms. McFarling, I know that he's going to probably do this very loosely in terms of making his own statements or interjecting, and I just want to make sure that it's all under oath. So.
Maybe I won't make my own statements. I'll just ask questions without.
But sometimes they come out. Yeah, you're supposed to ask questions. But I was just saying, sometimes they come out whether we like it or not.
Exactly.
So
sorry,
I just. No, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. I just wanted to make sure that I had you sworn in. Okay, it's not a problem.
Do you remember?
Are you going back to that question or no?
It's has to do with living at the house, not.
No. I'm sorry. I cut you off in the middle of a question. I just want to make. You were asking her about. I just.
I'm pretty sure we got that already.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that I didn't throw you off because you were right in the middle of asking her about saying that you'd open the child support case because she was opening the child support case, or you opened this case because she had opened a child support case. So that's what I thought you were asking.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, but I cut you off, and I didn't want to have you complain later that I cut you off. All right.
So you stated that I opened this child support case. No, did you state that I opened this child support case because you went and seek child support?
Did you open this child support case? Can you repeat it?
This custody case.
Okay. That's
Did you state that I opened this case because of money?
yes. It started. Yes.
That you had just filed for child support?
No. It's always been on, except for the one time that it was off.
Do you remember Don asking Judge, I don't know how to pronounce it very
My last name?
yes,
Gentile.
Gentile. Do you remember Don asking Judge Gentile to look up the date that the child support case was open?
The child support or this custody case?
Child support.
I don't recall, but I know you're going to tell me.
Do you believe I opened this case because of money?
Yes.
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 So you don't think I opened? Do you think I opened this case because of Elicio's medical issues that I stumbled upon after picking him up from school?
No.
Where did you move? You moved out of Bedrock Cove. Where did you go?
My grandma's.
How old was Aliana when you moved out? In
4.
2008.
4 or 5.
How old was Alicia?
Almost 1. Or 1.
Do you know where I moved after Bedrock Cove?
No. You were there for a little while.
If I said it was 5136 is a roaster, would you say that is correct?
Where's that?
My sister's house on Tropicana and,
Oh, yes.
Tropic Fort Apache?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved into that house, 2008, did the kids ever come spend time with me there?
Yes.
Do you remember there being a pool in the backyard?
Yes.
The kids swim in that pool?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Did you ever swim in that pool?
I couldn't even remember.
Did Aliana and Alicio ever spend the night, have overnight stays with me at that house, at the roaster?
I don't recall.
often would you allow the kids to spend time with me at the house on the road from 2008 to 2010?
I don't recall.
Is it safe to say when you allowed it is when they came over?
I don't recall how often they came over. So
Did they come over when you allowed it?
in my head, I'm thinking that I was there. I would come over too. So if they were to stay the night, then I'm pretty sure I was there too, unless you're talking about a separate time.
So did the kids come over when you allowed it?
I guess when you asked for them? Is that what you're trying to say?
Did you have control of when the kids came to the house or not?
If you're talking about because either, we had plans or we had something else because you would spring it on the last minute, then yes.
Was I allowed to call you and pick up the kids anytime in 2008 to 2010 when I lived at Roaster? Or was it when it was convenient for you?
Like I said, it was just depending on what was going on throughout that time. So you would always come with last minute requests.
So if it was last minute, more than likely, was it denied?
Yes.
Can someone tell me what last minute means?
Like
Not enough notice?
I know, but
Prior?
5 minutes from now, 2 hours from now, this
Hours
morning, for
from-
tonight, what does that mean?
hours from picking them up. Even shorter.
So I never called you and asked prior to the weekend, can the kids come stay this weekend?
Not that I recall.
Was that a no, or do you not remember?
Not that I recall.
Was I paying child support in 2008, 2010?
You could have been. I'm not certain.
refer to the exhibit 5. Finder.
What am I doing?
Exhibit 5. First sticky note should say exhibits 1 through 20. Exhibit 5. Do you know where I was working? 2008 or 2009 or 2010?
Well, this one says 2009. Is it this Pride Vegas?
Privé.
Vegas?
So is it safe to say that I was paying child support in 2009?
Yes.
Do you remember what kind of condition the house was in? It was the roaster house, your sister's house with the pool. Do you remember if it was clean? Do you remember if it was dirty? Do you know if it was a suitable place
Clean.
for children to live?
It was clean.
Clean?
Mhm.
Okay. Can you describe what your grandma Lola's house looked like on the inside, as far as clean, suitable condition for children to live in?
It was old, a small house, and all my stuff was there. And her stuff.
Was it clean?
It was clean where we ate. It was clean where we sat. What are you trying to say by clean? Just because it's an old house and it's rickety and...
No, not at all.
Well, what do
Not
you
at
mean
all.
by clean?
Can you describe the inside of your grandma's house in one word? If you had to pick one word for the inside of your grandma's house, what would you...
Old.
Old? Would it be safe to say that your grandmother's a hoarder?
No. No.
Is the inside of the house filled with dust?
In corners
Top to bottom?
where she had my stuff, the kids' stuff, her stuff, all stacked up. Yes. But like I said, where we watch TV, where we eat, it wasn't like that.
Do you remember approximately how many cats your grandma would have at any given time at that house?
Outside? Outside?
Just in general, on the property.
No. Outside, she would have multiple cats.
If you had to guess, what number would you pick?
Multiple?
Like 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 1 to 20, 10 to 20, 15 to 25.
Multiple.
Multiple, just an average number. What would you say?
1 through 5.
5?
1 through 5. Mm-hmm.
Would you say there were 25 cats found at your grandma's house at any given time?
I don't know. I don't sit there and count.
Did you live there?
Yes.
Walk in and out of the house every day?
Yes.
Was the cats food and water at the front door?
Yes.
Did you remember seeing more than maybe 1 to 5 cats?
I don't recall. I told you I gave you a number, 1 through 5.
Do you remember where I moved after I left Zoroaster?
No.
If I told you it was 2675 Windmill Parkway, would you say that's correct?
Where is that? Or who did you live
Windmill.
with?
Windmill and Pecos?
Who did you live with?
Nicole?
No, I don't know that one. I'm pretty sure you did, but I don't remember your address.
You remember me living in Henderson on Windmill?
No. What is it? What was it by?
There's it's by Pecos, Eastern on the other side. There's a Bonds on the other side of the wall of the apartment. And then there's a AMPM across the street, across Pecos.
Have I
On the
been
other
there?
side there's a Chevron.
Have I been there?
You tell me.
I don't know.
Did the children ever come and spend time with me at that apartment?
I guess. I don't recall that address. I don't know where that's at. That's what I'm saying. If have I personally gone there and dropped the kids off there, then yes. But if not, I don't know.
I can't really move forward if I don't have like a concrete yes or no.
A concrete yes or no of what?
'Cause you just
Where
said,
you
well, if
lived?
say so, kind of. Well, I don't know. Like then that doesn't mean you acknowledge that I lived there and the kids came over and they spent time with me there at that apartment.
I don't know where that apartment's at. I don't recall you living at that apartment. I don't like. I would literally have to see it to connect it.
All right. Did you receive child support payments from 2010 to 2011 when I lived there?
I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Do you remember the first time I started mentioning Alicia's bladder is him not being potty trained, him still in diapers?
I don't
You know, do
I
you
don't
his age?
remember the age, but I remember taking him in after that and knowing that, I spoke with the doctor about it.
Okay, how old was he then, if that happened?
I just said I don't remember.
Don't remember how old he was when you took him to the doctor for his bladder.
No, because you're not giving me like a time or.
But you took him to the doctor for
Yeah,
his bladder.
I remember distinctly after you saying, that he shouldn't be in diapers anymore and stuff like that, that I took him to the doctor, Dr. Pimentel.
When was that?
2010, 2011. Is it safe to say he was about 4, 5 years old?
Yes.
Was Alicia still in diapers at 4 and 5 years old?
I don't think he was still in diapers. I don't remember. I don't think he was still in diapers like every day he was in diapers. Maybe pull-ups.
Pull-ups, diapers, training
I mean,
pants.
mhm.
Did Alicia wear any of those
Yes.
up to 5 years old?
I don't recall how old he was. No, I said yes to his pull-ups, to him wearing pull-ups.
So what happened at that doctor visit? Do you remember when you took him to Dr. Pimentel? After I was concerned for his bladder, that he was still in training pants. Do you remember what happened when you took him to Dr. Pimentel for that issue?
Yes, she just says that he's late. Like when he gets distracted, he doesn't want to get up and go right away. He holds it and.
Did she refer you to any specialist at that point?
I don't recall.
Do you recall going to a specialist after that visit for
No.
follow-ups? So we're at like 2011. So is it safe to say I was involved in the children's lives from the time we separated in 2008 to 2011?
Objection vague as to what he means by involved.
Yeah, so it was kind of.
Want to be more specific? I mean,
Did I visit my children on a regular basis? Did I call you on a regular basis?
No.
Okay, so if I was not visiting the children on a regular basis, how would I know that Alicia was still in diapers when he was 4 and 5? How did you?
Your
how
regular
did you-
basis is not the same as what actually happened. Like in your head, regular basis is like every week. That wasn't you. You would come in, 1 week this month, and then next month, it'd be a couple more days, or you weren't dependable. It wasn't like on calendar that you were coming and calling every week.
Did you ever call me and ask me to watch the children?
I'm not sure, but there might have been one point, yes.
There might have been what?
Might have been one point in time, yes.
You mean like one time?
No, like one point in time. So I think it was like, in the later dates of when you lived on that other apartment by Owens or Alta or something.
You admit that I was concerned for Alicio's health at around the time he was 4 or 5, around 2010, 2008, 2011, 2010, 2011 when he was 4 and 5.
For his accidents? For his bladder?
Yes.
Yeah, because you would get
Health in general,
you would
but-
get upset because he would wet his bed or wet his underwear. So yeah.
Did you think there was something wrong when Alicio was still in training pants at 4 and 5?
No, I didn't.
Is it safe to say that I thought something was wrong?
Sure? Yeah.
Do you remember where I moved after the apartment?
No.
Do you remember 4-bedroom, 3-car garage on the east side, tree line, and past Nellis, tree line in Charleston,
Yes.
Violet Breeze?
Yes.
Did the children come spend time with me? Yeah.
Yes.
What was your answer?
Yes.
Yes. And what was the period of time for that?
2011, 2013. Did you receive child support payments from 2011 to 2013?
I'm sure. Unless that was the time that we went down to child support and I don't know the dates of when we went down child support and you had me wipe out what you owed still. So I'm assuming yes.
I'm not comfortable with moving forward on assumptions. So can you say yes or no, or be more specific?
Objection asked and answered.
He's asking to be more specific, so what? It's not really asking the answer. So go ahead. What are you looking for her to
I'm just
answer?
looking for like a yes or no, not a like I assume or maybe or
Well, I mean, if you show me, like, do you
if you
have
say so.
a date of like what it
Correct.
shows?
You're right. Those are yes or no questions. You're absolutely right. So If a lawyer were asking them, they'd say yes or no. So yes, or, I mean, ask the question again, and
I just don't recall then. I don't, yeah, like I need to see it, or I need to, I don't,
Refer to.
yeah, thank you.
Exhibit 8. Can you maybe summarize what you see?
It's the child support paper. It's a notice. And it's your payment summary.
it's what?
It's a payment summary. So is this the time frame you're asking?
Yeah, 2011.
That's why I said assuming yes. So
13.
yes.
Did I file for custody in 2012?
I don't know.
Can you refer to Exhibit 2, please?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read the second page, which has number 1 at the bottom? About line 27. To the next page at the end.
Andrea was falsely collecting child support while living with me with the children, but stating on the child support order that she was living at a separate address from 2003 to 2008. You want me to continue the whole thing?
Please.
She does not use the money to clothe my children in new clothes or new shoes. The plaintiff never bathes my children or takes care of or teaches them good hygiene. They are constantly sick because they live in conditions of unhealthy for the children. The plaintiff has on repeated occasions told my daughter hateful things about me that were untrue, as well as her grandma, to make my children believe that I am a horrible person. She is never home at night with the children. She is either working or out hanging out with her friends and leaving my children with her grandparents. She doesn't teach my kids morals. My son is 5 years old and is still in diapers, and she thinks it's okay for him to have a bad mouth and curse. What? Never.
What school was Alicia enrolled at in in 2012?
Probably K. Carl.
Let's look. old was Alicio?
When
2012, when he went to Cape Carl, how old was he?
5 or 6.
Were you or your grandma Lola ever called to Alicio's school from 2012 to 2015 for a change of clothes from Alicio due to him
Yes.
wetting his pants? Do you remember about how many times roughly they called you?
No.
Or your grandmother?
No.
Did the school call you or your grandmother?
Both.
You don't remember how many times roughly estimate how many times you had to go down to the school for Alicia wetting his pants?
No.
Well, was it a few times, a couple times, or do you think it was like kind of many times or more than a few?
Yeah, it was more than a few.
Do you think that would affect Alicio emotionally in any type of way, having wetting his pants on multiple occasions in school in front of classmates?
I'm sure of it. I did take him to the doctors on multiple occasions as well.
Did you produce any documentation stating you took Alicio to Pimento for any bladder issues? Did you bring that with you? Did you submit any of that?
It wasn't for bladder issues. It was either for like a checkup, and then when we go in, I would ask her and tell her my concerns because she asked every time, and so I told her, and
So
she
you-
gave
so
me
you
the
did
answers.
not take Alicio to Pimento for bladder issues?
No.
Did you just state a minute ago that you took Alicio to Pimento for bladder issues because I was concerned that he was still in training pants at 4 and 5, that you took him to Pimento
Right, I
for
just
bladder
said-
issues? Did you
I
say
just-
that, yes or no?
Yes, I just said that when I would take him in, and I would share my concerns with her on the bladder issue.
Did you just state a second ago that it was not for bladder issues?
Yes, because I didn't originally make an appointment for a bladder issue. I'm saying after she saw Alicio, I would share my concerns with her in the room, and it wasn't strictly. I didn't say, "Oh, I need to take him in for a bladder issue."
Were we communicating pretty well from 2011, 2013 when I lived at Violet Breeze?
Somewhat.
So, yes.
It was somewhat. We still had our problems, so it was on and off. Yes and no.
Did you communicate with my wife, Nicole, pretty well from 2011 to 2013 when we lived at Violet Breeze?
I don't recall.
Do you recall congratulating Nicole for RJ, my younger son, being born.
No, I don't recall.
Was I picking up Aliana from Lead and Alicio from K. Carl from 2011, 2013?
I honestly don't remember. You were so undependable. I honestly don't remember.
Did you ever call me and ask me for something and get a no?
What would I be asking for?
In general, if I was so undependable, did you call me and ask me for anything pertaining to the children, like I need milk or I need diapers, I need wipes?
I don't think I've ever called you and asked you for anything like that.
But I was undependable.
Yes. With picking them up, and being in there. Okay.
Did me and my wife Nicole attend Alicio's kindergarten graduation at K. Carl?
Yes.
Did me, my wife, and my mother attend Aliana's choir recital at Lead Junior High School?
Yes. I also remember calling you for that too.
You remember calling me for that?
To remind you to come.
So then it's safe to say we were communicating fairly well.
Ryan, we didn't always get along. So like I said, it was on and off.
Not always, but from 2011 to 2013, was that one of the good periods?
It was on and off. It probably fluctuated every week and every month.
But at that point it was good because you called me to remind me to go to Aliana's choir recital. Correct?
Because I knew she would want you there. I had to remind you about a lot of things like that.
So Aliana wanted me to be at her choir recital.
I wanted you to be there. I wanted you to witness their things multiple times. Their functions, their
Aliana.
sports.
As well as Aliana. You just said Aliana.
No,
Wanted me
I
to be
said
there?
I wanted you to be there.
Before you said that, you said Aliana wanted you
No,
to be
I
there.
didn't. I said because I wanted you to be there. I had to remind you to come. Did I say Aliana?
You did. That's okay. I heard it.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know what I said. She didn't ask. I said I know she would want you to be there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you did. That's exactly right.
Okay. Then did you at any time under oath state that I did not attend Alicio's graduation and Aliana's choir recital?
Were those specific things that were stated?
I'm asking you.
Well, I'm assuming you're wanting me to, say
It's
something.
a yes or a no.
I don't recall. I know that I told my previous attorney that it was you were not dependable and you didn't always come to all the stuff.
Do you remember specifically stating
No.
that I did not attend Alicia's graduation and Aliana's choir recital?
No. I know you attended her recital for sure because I have pictures. I took a picture of her with you.
Okay. I have to put the exhibit number. I believe it is in your interrogatory questions. That you stated under oath I did not attend. A second ago you just said you called me to remind me to go and I did go.
Great. So where does it say that I said that you didn't go?
Your interrogatory questions?
So I'm asking, was it specified for those things, or does it say that I don't remember?
Objection or motion to strike, questions from the witness. I don't know if
You're asking to strike your
Well,
client's
yes,
question?
questions.
Okay.
I don't know if we can
Do you
just
have,
move
do you
along.
have, what's that? Do you have the actual document that you're referring to?
I'm sure I do, but I don't have the exhibit number right here. I don't know why this question doesn't have the exhibit number next to it.
Okay.
And it's things like these that slip through the cracks. Unfortunately, just like when we were in trial and we were looking for the referral from March from Pimento, and we couldn't find it.
Did you find it?
I actually went down to Pimento's yesterday and asked for copies so I can get another copy because I submitted it through Dawn and everything. So that was my only copy. It was my mistake. I didn't make a copy of it before I submitted it, but I went down there and they say they don't have a record of him being there on that day period now. So therefore I couldn't even get another copy. You can speculate to why that may.
Do you have more things? I mean, you don't have the interrogatories with you in the book, you're saying, right? Do you have the rest of your file with you?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where it is. I mean, if you want to give me, I can look for it.
Well,
Specifically
when we
that.
take a break, you can look for it. It's not a
Okay.
problem. Just
All right.
you want to just continue. You can ask questions. Just make a note that if you want to go back to that one and you
Okay.
find the document, you can pull that out.
Did my mother, Rachel Gomez, ever pay for Aliana and Alicia's soccer in 2012?
Yes, I asked her to. I asked for help.
Was I taking Aliana and Alicia to soccer every Sunday in my Lincoln Aviator SUV in 2012?
I don't recall.
You recall my mother paying for both their soccer fees, calling her and asking her for them in 2012, but you don't recall.
Is this the
if
indoor
I
one?
took them to the soccer.
Is this the
every
outdoor
week.
one or the indoor one? They played soccer twice.
In 2012, well, yeah, I went to both. Correct?
I don't remember the outdoor one, but I mean, if you're saying then yes. And then the indoor one, I do remember you being there, but I don't remember you always taking them. I know I was there to take them as well. Okay. Yes.
So, Mr. Geraldo, are you saying that you took them on Sundays every week?
That's what he's saying, and that's what I'm trying to, like, he didn't, so.
Just said yes.
You just said yes.
Hold on. I know what she said, but I'm just asking if that's what you're saying, that you took them every week on Sundays.
Yes.
And during what period was it?
2012.
Okay.
You took-
two different soccers?
This was the indoor on Rampart
Can I ask a question?
Summerlin Parkway.
So you took them every weekend.
Sunday. Yes, every weekend.
You took them every weekend. Okay.
For the duration of the soccer league,
That's false.
Okay.
okay. So you're saying no to my question?
What was the question again?
Was I taking Aliana and Alicia to soccer every Sunday?
No.
2012.
No.
Can you give me the time frame?
2012.
Well, 2012 is 12 months. How long was soccer? I'm just trying to figure out the period of time you're talking about.
Couldn't pinpoint.
How long is the soccer league? Do you know?
I would say last maybe 2 months, maybe. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm not exact. It was in 2012.
Okay. Fair enough.
But
Would you agree with that, Ms. Gutierrez? Around that? Okay.
okay. So you stated that you called my mother to ask her to help pay for the soccer, correct?
Mm-hmm. That was the outdoor one, or the indoor one.
Indoor.
Indoor.
You're saying I didn't take them to the indoor every weekend, to the games. My mom paid for it, but I didn't take them.
Yeah, just because she paid for it doesn't mean you took them every week.
Did you take them every week?
Yeah, I can remember taking them most of the time, and I'm not, like, I'm seriously not certain if you took them. If you're saying you took them, then okay, so be it. But I know that it wasn't every week is what I'm trying to say. So, no, you didn't take them every week.
Okay, so maybe they missed one game, and then maybe you took them to one. So therefore, I didn't
only
take them
took them to
every
one.
single Sunday, but I took them the majority of every Sunday to their games, correct?
So I initiated all sports. So why would I not attend them and only one?
I have a question. Are you two communicating about the sport leagues and talking to each other about what you're going to put your children in?
Mm-mm. No, like I said, we didn't. He's trying to say that we had good communication, which I went through his mom most of the time. Because me and his mom were able to communicate, obviously, and then she was able to communicate to him. So, but that's what I'm just really confused why he thinks that he took the kids every week when I know I initiated all sports. I'm not saying he didn't take them at all, because he might have taken them once or twice, but he's trying to say that I only taken my kids once.
Could you have both been there? One of you took them and one of you went and watched?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying that I didn't come up with the idea to put Aliana in soccer.
Yeah.
You came up with the idea to put Aliana in soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was at indoor soccer games and outdoor soccer games, correct?
I don't remember the outdoor. I definitely remember the indoor. I think you went. No, I think you did. Yeah, I think you did go to the outdoor as well. It was like one of her games or something.
Do you remember the picture I took with Aliana when the sun was in our face and we were both squinting? Like, she had red with braids in her hair?
Yeah, that's
Remember
the
that
that's the
picture?
time I
And I
remember
had a
you
white
being
shirt
there.
on?
I don't remember the picture, but that's the only time I remember you being there. Yes.
So, do you remember the braids in her hair in that
Yes.
picture? Okay, so did you put those braids in her hair?
I don't know. I'm assuming I did, unless she was with you. She was with. You're telling. I just feel like he's telling me what he wants to hear. So like, it's
On
just
cross-examination, that's what his questions are going to be leading.
right. And so that's it's just hard for me to like because
So-
I want to
so
say
understand.
maybe every time, but I don't know.
She put the braids in her hair.
I don't recall.
Okay, then that's the answer.
Okay.
So, just understand though that he's entitled to ask leading questions. You may not like the question, you may not like the answer to the question, but you have to answer the question.
Right. Well, that's what I've been doing. Right. I've been okay.
Yeah. So, but when he says it's yes or no, if it's either yes or no or I don't recall, I think
Okay.
you kind of said that. Like some of them
Okay.
you don't remember, but she's saying he's putting words in my mouth. Well, that's what leading questions do. So, anyway, he can proceed. Is there something you need
Yes,
to?
I was wondering if we could take a 5-minute restroom break.
Sure. Absolutely. Okay. We'll go off the record. We'll take a break.